Five. Welcome to the Geek Homeworld. I am your host, Ed, aka Savage Tech Man. We talk sci-fi, TV, movies, superheroes, and all from a geek perspective. You can find us on Blogger, Google+, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We're everywhere. Join the Geek Homeworld. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live stream here of the Geek Homeworld. And this is a Geek Homeworld episode 156, Loki The Variant. This is our review, our live stream, as we're talking about Loki. And we're going to talk about something else, too. Just a little house cleaning here. We're available, Geek Homeworld. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Geek Homeworld. And anywhere you get your podcasts, Anchor, Apple, wherever, that's where the podcast lives. And we're there. And if you want to ask your questions in the comment section here, we may feature them here, pull them up on the show, and talk about it. And we're going to talk mainly about Loki, and we may talk about a few other things. So, I'm welcoming to the show Cheryl once again, aka Palace Princess. How are you, Palace Princess?
Lovely. Happy Juneteenth to you.
Happy Juneteenth. Yeah, we got to partake in some of the festivities today, which is very informative, very, very great, wonderful, and so. We're live on YouTube here at Geek Homeworld, and I'm going to share that and see if that comes up. Boom, to my news feed. Boom, there we go. And just getting everything kind of set up here. And join us live talking about Loki. Episode 2. No, my phone said Lomi.
It's super fun to watch you do your social media.
Sorry. Well, I need to hire someone for that now, don't I? But anyway, so there we go. And so what did you think of the episode? Episode 2, The Variant. What were your thoughts?
I mean, it was a good episode. I have to admit, I liked episode 1 better, maybe. And I think we have to say right up front that this is probably going to be filled with spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode and you care about spoilers, don't listen to this till after you've watched the episode. Now I've only seen it once. Episode 2, I've only seen it once, so I'm not as in depth about it yet as I am about episode 1, but it was good. It was interesting to see again the continuing interplay between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston. I'm loving the character of Mobius. It's still really hard for me to look at this Loki as the Loki from 9 years ago, that he hasn't experienced the things that my Loki, the life experience, the lived experiences that he's had. I feel a little bit like it's hard for me to understand then what his motivations are, because I'm having to separate all these things now. He's aware of them, aware of things that happened in that timeline because he watched, I guess, the sort of video that Mobius made available to him. But it's still, so it's like, how evil is this Loki compared to the Loki who dies at the hands of Thanos? So where is he really falling in terms of hero versus villain?
Right. Yeah. That's a good point. And I wanted to ask you, why did you like the first episode more than the second one?
I think just getting it all set up, there was, and there was humor in this second episode as well, but there seemed like there was quite a bit of humor with them demonstrating, for instance, how they could loop Loki back when he tried to get out of line. And so we spent that time with him in episode 1, sort of getting out of line and getting looped back into line a few times, and with him coping with the idea of, even the Infinity Stones aren't powerful here. It was just a really quick transition. So we get to episode 2, and we don't seem to have him misbehaving. But then, you have the one incident where they go back to the Renaissance Fair, and he's there investigating, and he seems to be giving time for the other Loki variant to do something, and he indicates to the Loki variant later that that's what he was doing. But is that really what he's doing? Is he really not as reformed as he maybe seemed to be at the end of episode 1? So it's still really confusing to me about, again, where he is on this sort of the line between hero and villain. Is he fully villain? Is he really wanting to be reformed? Because I think, my view of Loki as a character and his character arc, and again, he's not completed that arc now, is that he wants to be the hero, and he wants to be the hero of his own story, but he doesn't really know how to do that. He doesn't have the character to do that. And Mobius tells him, basically that his glorious purpose, he says in episode 1, is to make other people be able to become their best selves. And what kind of purpose is that? You get to be told, your only purpose in life is to make other people be able to be heroes. Well, that stinks. Why would that make me want to be better? That's not going to make me want to be a better person.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that. Yeah, what is his purpose then? What purpose does Loki seem to have then? If he's just destined to always lose, if he's destined to just be the one that he has to fail essentially, so everyone else can achieve their purpose in this sacred timeline and all that. And I enjoyed the second episode. The first episode was the needed build up, and I think, just bringing everybody on board. But I think it's going to be highly exciting. Like the DB Cooper incident, that was a bet with Thor in the first episode, Glorious Purpose. I like that. I thought it was a nice touch, and we're going to be seeing a lot of time shifting globetrotting of Loki. That's, I guess, the premise of the series. Even though we only talked about, Loki can travel through time, but that's not all he can do. I was thinking about this. He can travel from different places within the timeline, and now of course he can travel through time. But it'd be interesting to see I saw a video on some of the places, like in the background, like some of the things in those variant from episode 2, the variant, the different timelines that split off. And like, one was Asgard, one was, so could he prevent Ragnarok from happening in, Thor Ragnarok, or is he, who knows? I mean, you have all these different Lokis going through time, and that moment towards the end of the variant, episode 2, where Loki, where Mobius is catching up with them, and he follows, they're calling her the Variant, hence the title, but some people online are calling her Lady Loki, but or female Loki, but the Variant, Loki has that moment of whether he's going to go through that portal with her or not, and obviously he does. He follows her, which is exactly what I probably would have done too.
Well, there's so many things that came up in what you just said. So there are 3 things specifically that I wanted to comment on. One is going back to the DB Cooper story. 2 is about, is this Lady Loki? And 3 is the Variant. So I'm going to start with the Variant. So, in what you just said, the name of the episode is the Variant, and you implied that applies to her. But let's remember that Loki Prime, as some people are calling him, is actually given he's given a jacket to wear that says the Variant. So maybe he is actually the titular character of this episode. It's still about him and not about her. And so that brings me back to my middle point, is this lady Loki? And I was reading on Den of Geek that actually in some of the translations, in the cast listings in some of the translated versions, she's not listed as the Variant. She's listed as Sylvie. And so for people who are familiar with the comic books, you're going to know that the lady Loki in the comic books actually sort of did some things to a human named Sylvie. And so, what does that mean in the context of the MCU in the cinematic universe? I guess we're going to find out. But, is this a Loki at all? Because she told Loki, don't call me that. So who is she really? She does have some powers that he doesn't have, or doesn't seem to know that he has at any rate, particularly in the body possession of all these different people that she takes on. And then the third thing is going back to DB Cooper, because I looked at IMDb and the cast list, and Erica Coleman, who plays the flight attendant Florence Schaffner, she's listed for 5 episodes. So we saw her in episode 1. I don't think we saw her in episode 2, except for in the Flash, the beginning where they were like previously on.
Right, the previously on.
Yeah, we didn't see her as a character in this episode. So with 4 episodes remaining, that means she's going to be in all 4 of the remaining episodes. So how important is this DB Cooper story going to be? And I was interested that we had that sort of flashback in episode 1. So it's apparent, because she's listed as a cast member for the remaining episodes, that's going to be a really big part of whatever's going on in the story. And that's all I have to say about all the things you just said.
Well, that was a very comprehensive.
I didn't want to forget anything. I don't have anything to write on. So.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm just looking at IMDb on it, and it just says Mobius puts Loki to work, but not everyone at the TVA is thrilled about the God of Mischief's presence. That's very generalized. But
and another thing I picked up on that IMDb cast list, I don't know if you're looking at it right now, but Richard E. Grant is listed for 4 episodes, and so that means he's going to be in all of the remaining episodes, because I don't think we've seen him, and the IMDb is not listing a character name for him. So I don't know if that's because they haven't released his character's name yet, because it's going to be a surprise to us.
Could totally be.
This is a major actor to be on the show, and so I suspect he's going to be apparently very important in these last 4 episodes. So where is he in this universe?
And we also have B-15. She plays B-15. I'm terrible with names. Wunmi Musaku.
I think it's Mosaku, but I'm not sure. I haven't heard it's pronounced.
But she's the lady that body slammed him and all that.
I love her.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And I'm looking through here and seeing a bunch of Minutemen in here. Analyzer 1, Analyzer 2. So there's all these. Yeah, I really think that they're just not. They don't want to put any spoilers out there. Yeah.
Well, I am kind of sad, because Eugene Cordero, who plays Casey,
he's
the
hilarious.
clerk, he's only listed for 2 episodes, and so that means we've seen all we're going to see of him in his drawer full of Infinity Stones.
I know that was like trip. Yeah. That's the funny thing about this. Yeah, the Infinity Stones mean nothing. So it's like, take what you knew about the MCU and time travel and everything else and the whole Infinity Saga, and just say, okay, well, that's in here. You're kind of like out of time,
right?
In the time variance. And
I don't see any reason why our Loki, or Loki Prime, what would be his motivation to help the Time Variance Agency? Because like we already said, he's been told, your purpose is to be bad and never win. So why wouldn't he try to win in some way? And he says to Lady Loki or the Variant or Sylvie or whoever Sophie DiMartino is playing, he says, I want to take down the Lizard Man or whatever.
I wonder, that's like, he said that twice at two different points. So, what is Loki saying? I'm always like trying to read between the lines, figure out what Loki's really thinking, as I think everyone does, because you really never know. And I wonder if that has any purpose to it. I was looking at something here. IMDb only lists 6 episodes. So basically July 14th is the last episode, at least of season 1. We already know there's going to be a season 2. And a little off the subject, but there are rumors floating around that we might get a second season of WandaVision. I'm not sure where that goes, but that would be exciting. I kind of feel like they said all they needed to say. I want to see the rest on Doctor Strange on the big screen, in the multiverse of madness. But anyway,
and then Geek was also speculating that Loki might lead into a Young Avengers series, which that has not been announced. And they said, basically nobody's really speculating, but
I think actually Hawkeye is going to do that with, the Kate Bishop. Is it Kate Bishop? Hawkeye's daughter is going to be one of like the Young Avengers. And then we have Monica Rambeau that we saw, so I think they're slowly, building a team, and but Monica Rambeau probably end up in the Marvels, which would have been Captain Marvel 2. And so.
And even like we've got the twins from WandaVision, even though they were, just created within the bubble, she has the power to actually create them. So we could see them back again as well. And, if Loki becomes the evil overlord of the Young Avengers, who knows? I have no idea. But, the other thing, as Loki was doing his library research, of course, that was very funny because he didn't have the authority to look at anything. And those scenes are always hilarious. But I really thought for half a second that what he was going to try to do was save Asgard. And so potentially there would be that opportunity of him working with the Variant, that maybe that's ultimately his goal, is to, again, going back to his ultimate, childhood fantasies of being the king of Asgard and outdoing Thor, that he would save Asgard. This Loki. And we just had a comment pop up.
Yeah, I didn't want to cover your face there. I'm sorry about the camera placement of this. But Laura Frenzel says, my daughter says there is no second season of WandaVision planned, ... But they may change their mind, question mark. And Laura, that's a good point. We don't know that. I heard a rumor, it's on the internet, so it must be real. But I kind of feel like WandaVision was its own thing, and I was prepared emotionally for that. But if you gave me more WandaVision, would I be happy? If it's done right, yes. But like I said, I want her, Wanda's story, to continue on the big screen in Doctor Strange, and I want to see what happens. There's rumors in the comics they're about to kill off Doctor Strange, which is crazy. And but I don't know. Marvel's, what they do in the comics doesn't always happen in the MCU. So or sometimes it's a blend of that. But Laura, thank you for that comment there.
I think we'll definitely see more of Wanda's story, but I don't, like you just said, WandaVision was such a very specific set of circumstances that I can't see a WandaVision 2. I don't know what's going to happen with the White Vision. He just sort of.
I think that's their way of not killing Vision off, They've
right, but are we going to see him again in something,
Oh yes. I've heard a rumor. People tell me that he may
Then
show
you
up
say,
in Armor Wars with what's his name? War Machine, and I don't know, obviously don't know. But yeah, I think he'll be in the comics. Vision became, like, for lack of a better term, White Vision. I don't know what his name was on the show. I don't remember. But he became like an evil version. He wasn't tattered down with like human feelings, and just like we saw him kind of go, crazy on Wanda there, and then. But there was a beautiful scene with Paul Bettany's Vision and how they had that moment there, and then he transferred all of his memories. So yeah, I think it's a way of just keeping Vision alive without, and if they move on from Paul Bettany or something else, they could still have Vision, because he's an android, so they could, really do anything they want to. It's like a clean slate, like a white chalkboard, so to speak, White Vision, ha ha ha. But I don't know. I would love to see where that's going. And Loki, let's see. We have another comment. I'm going to pop up on the screen here. When we're Laura Frenzlow, when she said her daughter said there was no second season of WandaVision planned, but they may change their mind. She said the exact thing there. She says the exact thing. And then here's another comment that Laura has. She says, I'm still getting caught up to understand WandaVision. I'm a bit behind since my daughter went away to college. Oh, well, I'm sure she's doing well. FYI, I'm your Twitter friend. Oh, okay. I have a Twitter friend.
Laura.
Well,
good.
Hey,
Glad to see you. Always glad to see your comments on Twitter as well. Thanks for staying in touch and liking everything. It helps get through some gloomy days sometimes.
is this your Twitter friend?
Yes, my Twitter
okay.
friend. But she's probably a fan of Ed as well. Which fan of Ed is FOE? So your friends are your foes.
Oh no, my friends are my foes.
This sounds like very real life.
I like that. That's very meta there. So,
well, all this talk of sort of these original Avengers is making me think we also saw a trailer that I hadn't seen before for Black Widow.
Oh yeah, I think that's the final trailer. Yeah,
right. And so we see flashback to Black Widow on Vormir. And so, what I'm really interested to see what, if anything, this Black Widow movie is going to, where this sits in the universe and where it leaves us with Black Widow as a character into the future.
Well, there is a scene I've seen, some of the stills for Loki, and there's one, and people are trying to speculate that Loki is sitting there on Vormir with
snatching people.
Yeah, no, with it looks like he's sitting on a rock or something, or maybe it's that cliff there, with someone who's redheaded, which could be, maybe they're gonna switch it, and so we'll see Black Widow. By the way, early reviews of Black Widow are fantastic, and I didn't tell you this, Cheryl, but because we were in another movie which we're about to talk about that we went and saw and absolutely loved and highly recommend, but they compared the comparison that I saw or early review said that the action in Black Widow is on par with a 007 James Bond film, which makes me super excited, and I've been excited for Black Widow, but the more they put it off, I'm like, oh,
it better be amazing, because we've been waiting a long time. Thank you, COVID.
Yeah. By the way, I have a new foe. Thank you, Laura. It's good to have foes. Friends of Ed. Oh my gosh,
that's hilarious.
Make hilarious. That a hashtag. Let's get that trending. But and one more thing from Laura here. She said she's getting me caught up for Black Widow too. Yeah. I am super. Oh gosh, sorry about that. My sound. I'm super excited for Black Widow. It's a shame that she had to go through the entire Infinity Saga and die, and then
before she got her own movie.
then get a flashback.
It just shows you how much harder it is for women, even in the MCU, to get their own. She's there, she doesn't even have superpowers. She doesn't have any super weapons or anything.
She's
it's
like
just
Hawkeye.
her and her training. She doesn't even have arrows. She's just fighting with basically her thighs a lot.
That's true. Every time we see that move, that scissor leg kick thing, we're like, oh, they're doing the Black Widow.
She definitely has the Thigh Master from, Suzanne Summers used to do the infomercials for the Thigh Master. But here she is, she's supporting Iron Man and Captain America, and she's just doing it out there, and she can't even get her own daggum movie until after she dies. And they're like, oh, maybe we should tell her story.
You'll like this. Spot on, Cheryl.
Thanks.
And anyway, so
you ready to talk about our new favorite movie?
Yes. Is there anything first before any last thoughts on Loki before we leave that topic?
No, I'm really still excited to have a Loki, and I'm always glad to
You're excited to have a Loki. You have been a Loki fan since the beginning.
I told you that you needed to get your hair back to the Loki style you had during the pandemic.
I just won't wash it for like 12 days or something. It'll be all greasy. And, like you said, the reason Loki was so angry in all the films and vengeful is because he wasn't mischievous. He was vengeful because he had a bad hair. What is it?
Hair day. He didn't have good hair. Didn't have good hair products.
Yeah, he transported the earth there and didn't bring his hair products, and so he literally looks like he got out the shower because he's sweating. In Avengers. So, anyway, so yes, we have not seen the original.
Let's see if we can say the name of the movie right this time because we struggle.
Okay, the first film was called Hitman's Bodyguard.
Okay.
And it starred Ryan Reynolds as the Hitman and Samuel L. Jackson as...
You got that backwards. Samuel L. Jackson's the Hitman. Ryan Reynolds is the bodyguard.
The bodyguard. Oh, yes. Sorry. Totally got that backwards. Yeah. So it's Hitman's Bodyguard. So this is called the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Yay, you did it.
Yeah. Thank you. And I won't remember that 5 seconds from now. Selma Hayek.
So Samuel L. Jackson is the wife, and
Samuel L. Jackson is not the wife. No. He's the hitman. He's married to Selma Hayek, and like I said, we both have not seen the original. It was one of those movies that came out, and it was just like, I'm watching something else, probably Avengers or something. I don't know, whatever was.
Yeah, we just didn't see it.
And because I think it was 2019. That it came out, and then,
I don't think I knew it was funny.
Yeah. I remember it being number one and people being surprised by it for a little bit, but this new one didn't get rated so well. But it's like In the Heights. Do not listen to the critics out there. You need to rush to a theater if it's safe and it's opened and you've been vaccinated. You need to rush to a theater and go see In the Heights. You will love it. You will love it. Not as much as Hamilton, but it's very close.
No, not as much as Hamilton, but very, very good. But this movie
is just hilarious.
Hilarious. Yeah.
And Selma Hayek, for me, this is her film. She steals it. She kicks total butt. I mean,
she's always so funny. But yeah. Okay.
I didn't realize how funny she was.
Language warning. I mean, if you don't like listening, well, first of all, Samuel L. Jackson's in it, so you got to know. even Avengers, he gets a mother F, in there.
Well, he gets to complete that several times throughout the movie. Basically,
it's just so insane. I mean, obviously, Ryan Reynolds can't be hit by a car that many times and survive,
or even once. But
yeah, I mean, it's just, and Ryan Reynolds is so perfect in this, and I think we keep seeing all the trailers for. Is it just called The Good Guy or Guy? Free Guy.
Where he's in a video game or something, and he becomes aware.
And we had just seen that trailer. It was shown for this movie. And so I can see sort of in his portrayal of these two characters, I can see some similarities between what we see in the trailer and then this character, this sort of naivete where he's just like, a happy guy.
Right.
Now, of course, he's not happy in this film. He's really rather upset because of his losing his AAA status. But he's still like, gosh, golly, I'm going to be a good guy. And my therapist told me not to do this, or this, so I'm not going to do
I graduated from therapy. That's what he said. I've sworn off violence and guns.
And Selma Hayek is just she's a bomb that goes off every 32 seconds of language, of violence, of just pure insanity. When she walks into the scene, something is about to happen, and you just don't know what it's going to be this time. And it is always hilarious.
She just goes on. She might as well be her own time variant, because she just goes off. One moment she's all serious, and the next moment she's crying, and you're like laughing the whole time. And it's just, and she's so badass. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, she is, and she's spot on badass in every scene. And just the physical juxtaposition of these three together. She is so small, and when she's standing next to them, and she's just like boom. She's tougher. She's tougher than either of them. Yeah. And she's just like, oh, here's a problem. Well, I'm just gonna fix it. I don't have time to worry about what you're thinking or what you're telling me not to do. She's just gonna do it and get it done. She's got a goal. She got a very specific goal, and she achieves her goal at the end of the movie.
She totally does.
I don't want to.
Really don't want to spoil this. Yeah, I don't really want to reveal this too much about this. I know we kind of spoiled Loki, but we said we would.
Well, and we're spoiling this a little bit too, but I don't want to spoil the whole thing.
I don't want to spoil because there's a character that shows up, and I thought,
no, yeah,
I can't say who it is because it would totally spoil it, but I was thinking. Maybe I could say this
the whole time who it is.
Yeah, and there was one person I thought that they mentioned that I won't say, and it wasn't that person. There's one person that I thought it could be, and this would have been like a total meta moment. But since it's called the Hitman's wife's bodyguard, I said, and the bodyguard had Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston.
You thought it was going to be Kevin Costner.
I thought, what a meta moment if like Kevin Costner just walked through the camera, like walked across the camera, or was somewhere in the background. But I know it's a different, totally two.
Or who is it that's the bodyguard in like London Has Fallen? Could have been somebody who's famously played bodyguards,
Yeah. Laura says,
Selma is hilarious.
She is beyond. It's the fun. I walked out of the movie and I said, Cheryl, that's the funniest movie I've seen that I can remember. And we haven't seen that many films with 2020 and everything going on.
I think you add in her Spanglish. She's talking very quickly all the time with her strong Mexican accent, and sometimes in Spanish. And she calls Samuel L. Jackson her cucaracha the whole time through, which I'm just dying because right before we went to the theater, Ed is telling me this horrible story about how his entire day was taken up with tracking and killing one cockroach.
No. It was
the whole movie.
There's one flew in the house and it freaked me out. And it was like late at night and I was going to bed. I got up to go to the restroom and I looked over and this thing flies at me and I go running in the other room screaming.
And then she's calling him cucaracha and Ed's like,
no,
Ed's not reacting.
You don't say that word.
Well, and so after the movie, I was like, you know what cucaracha is, right? And he's like, I think so. I'm like, okay, because you were laughing about it.
I know, it was just too funny. It was too funny. And I got the bug out of my house. It's amazing what kind of prayers I will say to get and things I will promise God that I'll do. I've got a bunch of missionary work to go do in Guatemala or someplace because there was a bug in the house. If you let me catch them. I had every light on the house and you're asleep. And so I was trying not to wake you. It's like, she's got to work tomorrow. And I'm like, I'm having a existential crisis because there's a bug that flew in the house. And, but
you won't let me call him my cucaracha.
No. You can't call me that. You can call me anything else. I'm your god of mischief. Eh,
You're just mischief. You're a ball of mischief.
I'm a ball of mischief.
Not intentionally.
Yeah, I just kind of stumble into things. I'm this.
Yeah, was it this roach incident that caused you to break the broom?
Oh, it was. Yeah. And I learned today at the Juneteenth celebration about don't sweep somebody at their feet or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you said them away.
Yeah, you said something about, is that how you broke the broom? I was like, no. I was whacking away at this dude and I was just trying to.
No, I said, good thing you broke the broom, and whoever was behind us laughed.
Have you ever talked to a bug and like say, hey, if you'll just go that way?
I'm afraid I've never had a conversation with a bug. Sorry.
Hashtag life with Ed C. I will negotiate. I'm a Picard. Okay. I will try to negotiate before. I'm not like Kirk. I won't go in there.
No, you're pretty Kirk on bugs. Well, no, actually, who's the most screaming, running away character I can think of? That's what
I'm Barkley. I'm Barkley, Lieutenant Barkley.
Sorry, that's a Star Trek reference. Yes.
Yeah. So, do we need to talk about anything royal since I've got the Palace Princess on here?
Why would people listening to a geek podcast want to hear about royalty?
I don't know.
And no, actually, today was a pretty stupid day in royal realm. So I don't want to. I logged into Twitter, looked at what the conversation was, and said, I don't have the energy for this today.
Bye, Twitter. Not today.
The umbrella wars. It's really silly.
Oh, the umbrella wars. Yeah, you told me. I was like, oh gosh. Well, thank God that's all they got to worry about, the umbrellas.
Who used an umbrella first?
Who used an umbrella first? I'm sure it was an umbrella once used by Diana. Anyway, I just stirred up the whole pot there of royal people.
Yes, it's not hard to stir the pot right now. So
yeah, so everybody be nice.
That would be nice.
But if you're going to see a film, and I don't know if it's on, I think it's only in theaters, but the Hitman's wife's Bodyguard. I'm doing good at this.
Yeah, because all day long we've not been saying it correctly.
Yeah, and but it's fantastically funny, and I have not laughed so much, and I don't know how long in a movie. And other than the prices of the food, that makes me laugh because that's ridiculous. No.
No, I mean, we laughed the whole way through.
We did. Oh, and
hilarious from beginning.
When I laugh, it's loud, and it was like, ah.
Yeah. Luckily, there were only about 12 people in the theater.
Yeah, and so, we were all hard, loud,
laughing at the same things. Everybody was dying. It was too hilarious.
Oh, here you go. Look at this comment, Cheryl. Awesome. We can bring Star Trek: The Next Generation into the combo. Well,
that's my thing.
Since you brought it up, have you, Laura? Since you're on here watching, thank you. Did you see the trailer for season 2 of Picard? On now, it's called Paramount Plus.
Oh yes! Oh boy, we will definitely be resubscribing to watch the second season of Picard.
Like, we're going in the debt for Picard.
Well, we got to do it for free last time because Patrick Stewart insisted that people should be able to watch it. So during the pandemic, we got to watch the first season, which was okay. I wasn't right. It was good to see characters, to see some of their stories. Wasn't in love with the story necessarily, but yeah, super excited to see. I
don't even want to say who it is. Oh, you just gave it away.
Oh, sorry. Okay. It's in the trailer. It's not like that's a spoiler. So Q is, you see a theme here. Like, I really like the kind of the bad boys in the shows. Q is definitely one of my favorite characters.
Q is love like your Q. Loki.
Love John Delancey.
And we found this out the same day we saw Loki, and I'm like, two of your favorite bad boys are like,
Exactly. I'm like, I see the new episode of Loki, and I see Q in the trailer. It was like the best day of the week.
And Jerry Ryan is in it, 7 of 9.
She's returning again. Yeah, 7 of 9. And you said there was another rumor.
Guinan. Oh, well, Yeah, she's supposed to come on, but she was not in this trailer. Of course, this is probably just the first trailer.
No, I love Guinan. I love
But
Whoopi
yeah,
Goldberg. Love Guinan. I had, back in the day when I used to wear the T-shirts like you wear every day. I
yeah.
had a 10 Forward T-shirt. Well, you clearly need a divorce.
She said, but I never got this. Laura says, but I never got the first season. Hubby was cheap with cable. LOL. Well, that doesn't happen in our house. I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah,
we'll
we spend
figure
more
it
on
out.
cable than we do on food.
I know.
I don't even know how many Let me see. How many streaming services I have on my phone?
Oh wow.
Everybody.
That's a lot
my
of
main screen. My main screen is all streaming services in my calendar.
Laura says LOL on that. Yeah, it's true, And yeah, it's
and
like
right
we
now
try not to have
we
them
just
all.
added Hulu. Why did we add Hulu? There was something we were watching and we could this is the stupidest thing.
I'm trying to think what it was. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember.
I'll tell you why, because my sister said how much she was enjoying this new show with what's his name?
It's a cooking show.
Who used to host Talks? Was it Talk Soup that he hosted? No, it
He
wasn't
was
Talk
on
Soup.
Community or one of them shows.
Yeah, he was on Community.
He used to do Joel Hale. No,
Joel McHale.
Yeah, he used to do that show that made fun of all of the shows that used to come on
before the other guy did
Talk Soup. That you're right, because Greg Kinnear was on Talk Soup, right? And then he took over from him.
I don't remember. This was a long time ago. Anyway,
probably in the 90s.
My sister told us about how much she loved this new cooking competition show called Crime Scene Kitchen. And so, and it's a baking show, and she doesn't really bake. So I'm like, well, maybe I should check this out because I'm the baker in the family. Well, Mom's the real baker in the family, but
yeah, she is.
So we were able to get on our service. We've already missed 3 episodes, and we were able to get the first 2 episodes for free. But then to get the 3rd episode, which had already aired, we had to subscribe to Hulu.
I'm like, don't do it.
Free month, and then after that, it's $5.99. So we subscribed to Hulu to watch 1 episode of this stupid cooking competition, which is a totally outrageous show.
Originally, Cheryl left it in my hands. She said when Disney Plus was becoming a thing, and I was doing all these different packages and researching, and I still don't think Xfinity got it right. But I was like, do you want Hulu? And she's like, you figure it out. And she had mentioned she wanted Hulu, but she didn't say if she wanted a free Hulu, or I didn't know what came with the Disney package on that first one, which Hulu it was.
Well, we didn't need the sports package.
Yeah, we didn't need the ESPN. We're not really sports people. So, yeah, so I signed up for it, and then after that, she goes, "Well, did you get Hulu?" And I'm like, "You didn't really say you want Hulu." I was like, and anyway, so now we have Hulu.
A month to watch everything I ever wanted to see on Hulu, because now we've got our DVR set to record Crime Scene Kitchen, so we don't need it to watch it anymore.
Oh, here's a comment from Laura again. She said her husband, he switched to Hulu right before the pandemic, then realized couldn't get CBS unless in real time. It's crazy. I just can't keep track. Yeah, I can't either.
No, I agree with you. We need an app now that will collate all of the streaming services.
All we're doing, and we never cut the cord. We still have Xfinity. So
we still have cable, yeah.
Yeah, because I won't let it go.
HBO and
yeah, and HBO Max.
Because I can't get you off of it.
Well, I've been watching a bunch of DC comics and stuff on there, so they have a lot of really good content on HBO Max, and then they're going to be dropping the Lord of the Rings.
Like I said, after our mortgage, probably our entertainment bill is the highest thing.
I don't know, the phone bill isn't far behind.
Well, because we're paying for phones for a lot of people, so.
Yeah, that's true. And then our cars are acting up. So.
We might have to get rid of.
I need to GoFundMe so I can pay for all the streaming services. But yeah, so it's not like really cutting cord. Some people cut the cord and then they start getting all these apps and realize they're paying as much for the apps as they would if they just
one
kept
at a time. Yeah.
But I'm on the principle of it. Oh, we are not getting CBS All Access, which is now Paramount Plus. We're not getting it because we
Well,
shouldn't
we
have
don't
to pay
currently
for
have
it.
Paramount Plus. We don't
We
have that
don't
one right
currently.
now.
Yeah, we're going to try to get a free, if there's a free thing in 2022 when Picard comes out season 2. But yeah. All we really watched on there during the free thing, we hurried up and watched Picard, and then that's when Star Trek Discovery was on there, and then it was
You were
now
watching
it's on
Discovery.
CBS.
I could only take about 3 or 4 episodes
I
of
tried
it.
to get back into it and I couldn't, and my friend tells me it gets better, and I don't have the patience, I just have to skip ahead.
There's too much content out there for me to wait for a show to get better.
Right. I mean, there's too many things that are, yeah. And I'm the perfect person for, if there is one of those house shows on the what is it, the House Network or the Home Network or
HGTV.
Yeah, and they got to
Could be
pick 3
Discovery that
houses.
you're watching.
I don't know. And I've been watching the Millionaire one in New York. I got to know what house they pick, or if they're going to sell the house or rent it, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you watch a lot of those real estate shows.
Yeah, and of course we watch the crime shows too. So, and it's like I have to know what happens.
Our current crime shows we're enjoying that people may not be aware of. What is the one?
Storm Stories.
Is it Storm Stories?
I think it is on the Weather Channel. It's like the Weather Channel's way to get into the crime scene kind
How
of thing.
weather impacts crimes or crime.
Which it's interesting, and it's mostly a flood, some kind of ice or snowstorm, or it was or a drought or something. But it's interesting how weather. I'm fascinated by weather, but yeah, that's one of the one. And then you love airplane crash shows.
Yeah, I like all the airplane crash shows.
Yeah,
it's the ailerons.
But yeah, those shows where they have the houses, and I got to know which one they pick.
It's Storm of Suspicion.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, okay. I didn't think it was Storm Stories. Storm Stories is another show, but it's Storm of Suspicion on.
You're right. It's Storm of Suspicion. You're right. And
really good.
Yeah, it is really good.
It's a little drawn out. They probably draw it out a little bit too much, but if you're into weather and you're into crime, it's a perfect. Now, going back to Crime Scene Kitchen, there's nothing crime in it.
that was the one.
I didn't watch it because I'm like, I can't cook in a crime scene.
But didn't your sister say that we would want to make the recipe? Is that the one we would want to?
She said it would make you want to eat dessert, and we did go out and
get some dessert because it was really good. And they don't always do. The one show though that gets me, that we don't watch it as much, but I don't know if it was on Netflix, where it's got the lady on there and she like yells at people and just funny stuff, and then they're not even trying. I don't even think these people have any skill to cook.
Nailed it. Yeah, no, they don't. They specifically bring in, it is on Netflix, and they specifically bring in people who cannot bake. And then they give them very elaborate recipes to recreate. And half of them don't even look at the recipes. And the whole idea is that it's going to be a complete disaster. And I actually watch it. I watched the Spain version, and I watched the German version, and I think I've watched the French version too. So I've watched 4 different nations' versions of Nailed It.
Oh, wow. Laura says, I want an app, cable, whatever, that I can customize. Amen.
Exactly. I don't want all these channels I don't watch.
So many channels that I get that I don't want, and the ones that I do. And Laura also says, love those, Ed, but don't get now. I watch a lot of YouTube and TikTok. Yeah, I'm not into the TikTok thing. My friend's trying to get me into TikTok. He's like, you need to be on TikTok. I'm like,
at some point we're just too old for some.
I'm getting too old to like. I barely understand Discord. He had to show me Discord, and I used to be the one that was like on top of all the technologies and stuff.
I don't even know what you're talking about. So
yeah, it's like it's chat basically. I'm like, it's kind of cool, but
yeah.
I don't know if it gets listeners to my podcast.
So many channels, and and by channels I mean all the apps and everything too. So I'm right there with you. It's hard to. I get all this stuff through our cable subscription that I never watch, never use, and I would love to be able to plug in the things that I actually like. So I think I think if cable were to get to the point, or satellite were to get to the point where you select just the channels you want and you were able to get them,
Right.
maybe there's going to be some hybrid like that. But it definitely is at the point now where I've got so many streaming services where I want to watch a show, and even a show like I've been watching, if it's a series, and I can't remember which app it was I was watching it on. So I sometimes spend 20 minutes searching an app trying to find the show that I was watching.
Or and since they're connected to the TV, we'll get on the Xfinity app and like say whatever the show is, and I think it's on HBO Max, but then it's on Prime or it's on Netflix or whatever, And
I think of all the ones that I have, I still like the interface for Netflix best of all of them.
I absolutely hate Amazon's.
Yeah,
I hate any of those where you have to move the letters around. It's like PlayStation controller. It'll take you an hour just to type something.
You have to do that on the TV. You don't have to do that on the app.
I guess I don't know.
You don't really watch them on your phone like I do.
No. Because I want stuff on a bigger screen usually.
Yeah, he wants to turn an entire wall of the house into
I got to put this up there.
Projectors, drive-in theater.
Yeah, Lauren, not to bust you out here, but because we're in the same boat, but you said my daughter rolls her eyes and says, I'm too old for TikTok too. I'm 50 plus. Well,
yeah, I think it has an age.
I'm 50 limit. Plus, and yeah, maybe it's an age thing. I'm just
if you're over 50 and you're on TikTok, you have to be really cool. Like you've got to be the coolest grandma on the planet or something. It's definitely. I don't even know what I would put on TikTok. Yeah,
it's just another service I'd have to work. Another thing on my phone to give me alerts, because I've got like every alert on my phone going. My phone is like, it's like a constant. If there's a brownout in the neighborhood, it's my cell phone because I've got everything.
Yeah,
telling me all the time, competing for my attention.
Twitter. I have to be brief, but at least I can link things together.
Well, Twitter is so toxic that I just
it is right now. Yeah,
I don't go near Twitter. I only put like post up there about stuff. I certainly won't get in an argument about, what the Queen's wearing or whatever. Or not that I would.
Well, on Instagram, I'm only on there to lurk. I just follow accounts. I don't. I think I
barely post on there, and that's even. I had mine hacked a couple times, so it kind of scared me. So it's like.
Well, I have that actually. I've got a couple of accounts for almost every social media app out there because I have one for my personal interest and then one for my work stuff. So I post on
like a lot of people do
for work, but I don't post on my personal one. There, I just follow, and I really on Instagram I only follow like real royal accounts. I don't follow fan accounts on there. I'm following just.
I look at. Now, Laura says she agrees with us both. Netflix is the best platform. Now, Disney Plus is getting their content together. And
content is better on Disney Plus than it was a year ago.
They got my Star Wars. They got Mandalorian. They got the Bad Batch, which is a Clone Wars spinoff. They got the Clone Wars. They got a lot of stuff. They got Loki. They have WandaVision. They had Falcon Winter Soldier. They got my MCU, basically my Star Wars. I like that. It's a good app. Disney just needs to buy everything. Buy Amazon or they figured out just be Amazon over here app that owns everything.
But like Amazon Prime,
it's
showing like when there's a big movie release, sometimes it's on Prime,
right?
And you can watch it there as part of your subscription. Now Disney on Disney Plus is doing. You can watch it on the big screen, or you can pay extra to do it. But I think they call it. What do they call it? Premium. I'm not sure. And you can watch, or you can watch it. And
like premium access. That's what Disney does too.
For people who are still staying at home, or for whatever reason, whether for COVID or other reasons, it's probably still a better deal financially for them to pay the extra to watch that at home than to pay to go see it at the movies for multiple people. For us, we're able to get out to the theater and see it on bigger screens. And we tend to go, we've really only been going to the Big D theater that's local to us because it's a very large theater, very large screen.
We can space out.
Usually fewer than 20 people in a theater that holds, hundreds. So We
And
still
they've
feel
been more
very
staffed than
distant.
I've ever seen them at our local AMC, and I feel safe there, and the air is running now. One time we went into an auditorium and it didn't feel like there was any air going on in there, and I'm like, it didn't feel so good, but we were masked up that time. That was earlier on, but yeah, generally I feel comfortable. I'm getting comfortable. We've been long since vaccinated for months, and so but yeah, um I'm looking at the comments. Laura says Disney can be challenging to move around. Amazon Prime is horrible to navigate. It's that,
Yeah.
yes, it's like Amazon, you can do a better job at navigation on there. And I think we're all kind of spoiled by Netflix. I had forgotten, this shows you how my memory goes, but I had forgotten that Netflix used to be where you got the DVD in the mail, and then I paid $2 extra to get the Blu-ray that I would hold on for like 6 weeks or something before I'd even pop it in the Blu-ray and finally play it and go, "Oh wow, it sounds great and looks great."
Well, remember one time I asked you, what was that service where they would mail the
Yeah.
DVDs to you? And you were like, Netflix. I'm like, no, that's not right.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was Netflix. Yeah. And then I was like, wow, that's a company right there that evolved with things. They caught the trend or ahead of the trend. And yeah, Netflix, I like how they do their top 10. It kind of gives me an idea of what's kind of new, trending. So that helps a little bit. So I think Disney Plus kind of added that feature to theirs in a way. And that helps me out, so I can, if there's something that maybe I missed for some reason, or on one of my notifications, I can check it out. But there's a lot of stuff on all of these services I have saved in my list or whatever it's called, and even on the DVR, I have to clear it out constantly. But I'll have like several episodes of shows that I really want to see, but I know I'm never going to get to watch, and I just eventually either have to just watch a YouTube video about it to get caught up, or just say I can't commit to another show right now. There's only so much time you have in a day, with life and everything else to consume all this content. And but it's
well, it took
Amazon
Prime. It took Prime a while to give you the feature where you could save watch lists that were separate.
Oh, yeah.
So, it was a real pain.
Having the different profiles helps, yes.
Right, exactly. To finally have different profiles, because for a while we had to share the profile, I think, and Ed and I watch, a lot.
I'm like, I didn't watch anything about the Queen, what's or something, or Charles the somebody.
I'd have all these documentaries in the list about royalty or history, and Ed will watch some of those things. But then he's got a whole lot of geeky stuff and weird stuff that I don't like. And I'm trying to sort through and find what I want to watch. Like, what is this? And I think I'm going to take that out of the list. I'm like, oh, I can't take it out of the list because it's kind of like our DVR, where you've got all this stuff in the list and our box is always 90% full because you've saved every
almost 100
on TV. There's 3 hours of Eagles that you maybe are going to watch one day.
There's an Eagles concert on there. I apparently fell asleep watching, and I don't want to let it go because I want to watch it, and because I'll probably never see him in concert. And
every award show is on there. 300 hours of award shows taking up all
fast forward. I painfully fast forward. Well, on the show here, when we do stuff for like the when my friend Scott comes on and we talk about the Emmys and the different awards, I kind of have to watch the shows, but God, they've been boring this year. Thank God for COVID. That some of them were like the BAFTA awards was like an hour, and I'm like, yeah, I can fast forward through this and just get me to the awards. And the Oscars, they were all just, I don't know, it was weird. I want to host. We've said this before. I want to go back to having one host for the Oscars. Let's find someone we're not going to cancel and put them on there and just let them and just let somebody host it. And I don't know, but then they go crazy with all the musical numbers. But I don't know. I'm never happy.
Do some people not know they're robots?
I know. Yeah.
Back to this. I'm bringing us back full circle to Loki.
Yes, this is all comes full circle back to Loki. We went on the alternate timeline there, didn't we?
Super fun first episode of Loki.
Yeah.
lots of fun stuff like that. So
you just experienced an Ed tangent. Hashtag Ed
and
tangent.
then Cheryl, what did they call it when they brought Loki back? I just looped you.
I just looped you.
I looped you. Got to bring Ed back to the beginning.
I'm back in. Yeah, what were we talking about? The variant. So episode, they don't even have a title up on IMDb. It's 1.3. So
we'll find out.
That's how quiet they are about, keeping the MCU secrets, which is fine with me. It's like we're so conditioned by Marvel. I will not leave the theater until they're brushing underneath my feet the popcorn I accidentally
We're usually talking to the ushers. Yeah,
we're always talking to the ushers. And did you like the film? And I had one of them one time tell me there's no credits afterwards. I said, "Are you sure?" I was like, I don't want to get home and see a YouTube video that I missed an after credit scene that meant nothing.
Well, and sometimes we are watching the credits because we know people who've worked on a film.
Right.
And so we're looking for their names.
That's different. That's different. But yeah. And hopefully my name's on there somewhere. But excuse me. But we haven't
done any Marvel work yet, so
fingers crossed. If you know Marvel, if anybody knows Kevin Feige, tell him I'm willing to do anything. I'll push a broom if I have to. I'm not against that.
Yeah, I was just checking on Disney Plus, and they don't have anything listed yet for episode 3. So we'll have to wait and see what the title of that's going to be. And I'm sure it's going to be great. Can't wait. Glad it's on Wednesdays. It gives you a little pop in the middle of the week. Because the rest of the ones I'm usually tired on Fridays, and so a lot of times by the time we got to watch it, I was really exhausted. So
we said this on the last live stream that we did, the last episode here of Geek Homeworld. But this is perfect marketing. They said that Loki was going to premiere on Wednesday because Loki refused to follow Thor's day, which is Thursday. So I think that's perfect. That's poetic there. That's definitely a Lokiism. But I'm loving Loki. It's everything I hoped for. There were 2 series I was really looking forward to. Amanda. What's her name? WandaVision. I don't know where I got Amanda. WandaVision and Loki. Falcon and Winter Soldier was good. They could have smashed it together into a couple episodes, 3 or 4 episodes. I had some issues with it, but I still enjoyed it. And but Loki is everything I want. And then hopefully we go out of Loki into Black Widow.
Yes.
Because I think that's July 9th-ish, I think. And then we have at least MCU. Then we have the Eternals in November, which everyone is saying is fantastic with No Man Land's director, who won Best Director and Best Film at the Oscars. They're saying that it's going to be fabulous. So anyway, this is, like you said, Cheryl, let's get on here and do a short episode. So
for an hour.
I got you off on a tangent there. Thank you, Laura, for your comments, and everybody else who will watch this and who didn't catch it live. This is Geek Homeworld.
I probably will not do an episode with you next week because the big release next week, really the only release next week, is F9. And I'm not planning to watch it.
Fast and Furious. I'm getting to go to a special screening, so I'm excited about that.
Ooh, yeah, you have to take a toy.
So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel here, Geek Homeworld, please do that. Click that subscribe button. You can enable notifications, so next time we have a live stream or any new episodes or anything going on here, you'll be notified. And if you want to give a thumbs up to the video, we certainly do appreciate it. We as in I. I appreciate it.
Royal we. So, smash like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Palace Princess, whatever.
There you go. Palace Princess. I don't have a little card up here, but she's at Palace Princess, and your blog there, and you're on Twitter. So thank you, Cheryl, for joining me for another wonderful episode. And
I'm so used to Zoom.
I know. It's like I'm learning StreamYard. I kind of knew it all along, and I'm not good, obviously, on the camera angles because I'm like, whatever.
I'm afraid I'm going to wave goodbye in a real life meeting.
Bye. You said right in front of people. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice. I've been talking too much. Imagine that.
You always.
Anyway, I don't know how to end it other than to say goodbye. Okay, do we have any more comments? There's one more comment. Laura says thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. You
See
can be
in
a. Thanks for being a foe, friend of Ed. So I need as many foes as possible. So spread the word. Tell the people in Luxembourg and whoever else. I don't.
Oh no, yeah, because you said today that you had a download on your radio show in Belgium.
Yes, Savannah on film in Belgium.
Yeah. And I said, well, that's either NATO or the King of Belgium. And you said, well, there's just no way to know.
Could be either. So
for all of you out there who didn't know that Belgium had a king, you're welcome now. You can win on. His name is Philip. You can win on Jeopardy if that comes up.
Yep, whoever's going to be the host. So that's another podcast for another day. But thank you very much for joining us and everybody, and thank you, Cheryl, once again. And I'm going to say goodbye. Bye.
Goodbye.